Welcome to Soul Therapy with Chelle. I am Chelle Griffin and I practice as a soul doula. I combine therapeutic knowledge and lived experience with a healthy dose of spiritual exploration. Feel welcome to join me as we learn and grow together, exploring the magic and wonderment of experiencing life on earth as a spiritual being. So in today's episode, we're going to explore what solitude is. But my version of solitude, I refer to as Soul-itude. So still being solo, being alone with yourself, but from a deeper level. Connecting with yourself through your awareness and growth, and really feeling what it's like to be on your own, learning to surrender to that solitude and getting comfortable with being on your own, to the point where some people love being on their own. They love their own company. Others, fill their time in different ways and find it not quite as natural to be on their own. So in today's episode, we're going to explore what that all means and how we can support ourselves to have a connection with yourself that is just so richly varied that you're in tune with your intuition, your body, your mental capacity, your emotional state, and your spiritual, energetic experience, and being aware of all of those aspects of yourself as making the whole version of yourself. I bang on a bit to anyone who knows me that I am a spiritual being having a human experience. And in my work as a Gestalt psychotherapist, there's an added layer to that of wholeness, and that can be learning to surrender and accept and embrace every part of myself, the light and the shadow, and like fully really accepting. Like there's some parts of myself that at certain points in this lifetime and others have served me really well, but in some experiences they don't necessarily serve me. They may put up a wall for me in being relational with someone else, causing a blockage so that true connection doesn't occur. So we'll look at ways to have a connection with ourselves while recognizing what activates ourselves and how we respond to those activations, deepening that awareness so that we can be fully present. The purpose of this entire podcast is to support you to create and live a life you love. So solitude, we have to nourish ourselves, nourish our own garden, water our own self so that we can grow and bloom and fruit, know how to weed out what no longer serves us so that we can truly be present and embody and experience all that this life has to offer us. That's what we signed up for. That's why we're here. So really coming back to ourselves, and if we can be fully aware and present with ourselves as much as possible, then naturally we can be that way in relation to the other. So how do we, meet ourselves? How do we show up? How do we get comfortable with the uncomfortable? And I read a book earlier this year, and it was called Pussy by Regina Thomashauer. And at first I found it really bloody confronting. She was like championing divine feminine energy, but she was coming from the sacral chakra and being really quite explicit in like claiming your pussy, standing in your feminine strength. And I had to, for my own way of getting through the book, I reframed what she was saying and came more from a heart-centered position, and that felt more aligned for me. But her premise was just so true, and inviting women to really stand in our feminine power, coming from a place of being vulnerable rather than the masculine energy of being brave, showing courage, and stepping into our true authentic selves and really showing up for ourselves. And if we show up for ourselves, then we're better equipped to show up for others. So that solitude is an honoring of all parts of ourselves, our physical needs, our emotional needs, our mental stability and care, and our intuition, really stepping in and exploring our intuition. We are all deeply intuitive beings. We've just forgotten how to be in contact with that side of ourselves, especially women over millennia. We've been, squashed and really turned into being a slave to society and of service to others at the detriment to our own needs and our own power. So Pussy was a really great way of giving women permission to step in and remember who they are, remember their strength, their desires, their creativity, and how to just really fully be ourselves, our full, authentic and true self. So different ways that we can support ourselves. In that particular book, there was an invitation to take myself out on a date and just figure out what would be a dream date for myself, and actually go through and experience that fully. And I was reading of women who took themselves out for dinner and sat on their own and ate their meal without having their phone and without having a book to dive into, or without sort of cornering a waiter and having conversation or turning to the table next to them. Actually really being with yourself and, having an internal conversation with yourself, enjoying the taste of the food, enjoying a glass of wine or just even water, just whatever floats your boat, but celebrating yourself in the way that you would want another to celebrate you. And it's such a really liberating experience, being in a room full of people and going, actually, I don't really care what any of them are thinking about me right now. I'm hanging out with me. I'm having a beautiful time. Initially, it's really challenging. When I was in my 20s, I took myself off to see a movie. I really wanted to see a movie. No one was available to see it with me at the time I was available, and it was coming to an end in cinemas. And so Muriel's wedding and I had a date. And I was in this darkened theatre, and I was absolutely mortified that I was on my own. I didn't want anyone else to recognize me. I didn't want anyone to see me and think ill of me, that I had no friends or I couldn't find anyone to go with. I was just so caught up in what everyone else thought of me. I didn't fully enjoy the movie that I was so excited to see. It was really sad that I didn't get to have that full experience, purely because I was worried about what other people around me were thinking. People that didn't know me from a bar of soap. So why was I allowing their opinions and their internal judgments, none of which I had any control over, to infiltrate my experience of just hanging out with myself and watching a movie that I was so looking forward to seeing? I really shifted that perspective over the years. I make time for myself. I make time to connect with others, because being in connection with others does fill my cup energetically. But I have noticed that, the older I'm getting, the less attached I am to needing to be around other people. I really enjoy my own company. I actually started getting excited about if plans get cancelled, and going, oh, that means I get to hang with myself. Now, on a deeper level, if plans get cancelled and I'm getting excited, I need to rethink whether that connection is actually serving me really well and reassess what's that underlying message there for me. But based on solitude, if I can care for myself, love myself, I'm better equipped to being that for everyone else around me who I love and adore. And I am also setting an example for my children that their self-love, self-care, time on their own really matters as well, because they may have different ways of filling their cup energetically than what I do. And I respect that and need to give them the space to lean into that. And I model that behavior to them, that yes, mum's got girlfriends and couple friends and school friends that she catches up with, but she also is really happy to be on her own. Go for a walk on my own, just be in nature, go put my feet on the earth, hang my feet in the pool, lie down and read a book. Somewhere comfortable, go have a coffee on my own after an appointment, or like not rush back to get all the tasks done. Actually really pace myself so that I have the energy to get through my commitments, and with a willingness and without a sense of obligation, and with a presence, just moving through this life in the best way that I know how, by being as present as I can to the current moment, so that when I'm in conversation with someone, they know that they've got my full attention. I'm not there rattling off the 10 things I need to be doing, that I push all that aside and I'm fully with that person in that moment. Same as when I do have my list of tasks to get through, that I have the energy to go, okay, I'm just going to hunker down and get through this. And some days I don't. Some days I'm like, oh my God, I'm so depleted. I need rest. And I'm really fortunate that I'm able to live a life where I can take that rest when I need it, and honor that also for everyone else in my family. That can be a priority. So taking yourself on one date doesn't necessarily go, oh, I've mastered solitude and solitude. It's developing a friendship with yourself. You have people outside of yourself that you really love to hang out with. You're in this body for this entire lifetime. Why are we not befriending ourselves in the same way that we do others? I've got some beautiful friends that honor their time and prioritize themselves over others. And I am like so envious of that. And that's something that I really had to try to come back to and go, working through all the layers and all those core beliefs and old thought patterns that, run in the background, coming back and exploring each one at a deeper level and going, well, why have I got that belief? What was missing in my life when I created that belief? How can I meet my inner child, my inner teen, my young adult, my maiden, matriessence, the woman I am now? How can I meet those different versions of myself and truly connect and befriend that part of myself and work through shifting that perspective or embracing that part of me, going, okay, maybe I felt to be a burden or needy, and why was I feeling that way? Okay, exploring what that was and looking at those deeper layers and going, oh, do I still need to have that thought program running in my head, looking at the relationships around me that I've got that are really stable and nurturing and uplifting in my energy, and really caring for that part of myself, having that internal dialogue with myself, whether it's just embracing my inner child and going, you were 5, of course you were needy, you needed parents who were present, or you needed friendships that were stable. I moved around a lot in those early years in particular, and there was lots of change. So I notice when there's times of change in my life, there's this part of me that gets a bit like, I need control, I need stability, I need grounding. So it's a coming back and going, oh, I recognize I need grounding. And for me, the ultimate form of grounding for myself is getting lots of rest, putting my feet on the earth, being in nature. Mother Gaia is incredibly healing. Just planting our bare feet on the earth, or just lying on the earth and imagining like tree roots growing out of the soles of our feet, going deep down through the layers of the earth and getting right down into that earth's core, wrapping around that earth's core and just giving a gentle tug and feeling our energetic being just landing and softening and slowing down, and imagining that energy just coming back up through those tree roots into our physical body, feeling each chakra through our central channel and just nourishing ourselves and rejuvenating, revitalizing, and rebalancing. And it truly is magical. It's free and it's available at any time we want. It's just such a simple way of just grounding ourselves, just connecting with earth. Other ways that we can care for ourselves and nurture our relationship with ourselves, so that we can be our full and received as our full authentic self in the world around us, is through meditation, through exercise, through diving in the ocean, forest bathing, having a bath, a candlelit bath, low light in the evening, getting out in the sun in the morning. Like, we have become so afraid of the sun, and the sun warms us up, and water hydrates us and fills us up and keeps us alive. We need all those elements. We truly are one with the earth and one with the universe. We have this idea that we're all individuals, but we are so energetically connected with everything. And in Gestalt therapy in particular, we also focus on the space in between. So there's you and there's me, and then there's that connection that's occurring between us, and that energetic frequency, the vibration, that space in between that aligns us, pulls us toward each other, or sends us further apart. But intrinsically, we are all connected. So in nourishing our own energetic being, our own energy field, auric field, our intuition, our physical health, our emotional and mental health, we can stay curious and stimulated and continue to learn and grow. And that in turn gives everyone around us permission to do the same. So solitude can sound very isolating, but it's actually for our greater good. Coming back to ourselves, that slowing down, that softening, and that honoring of who we are first and foremost. And then we go out in the world and we're engaging in a way that makes not only our heart sing, but everyone around us. They see that radiance, that glow, that they feel that connection. They're drawn to it, magnetized, and they want to be the best version of themselves because we're modeling that to everyone around us. So whilst last week we talked about the beauty of women's circles in particular, and connection and being in relationship with others, this week it's how do we nourish ourselves? How do we come back to really being grounded and feeling fully aligned with our highest good? So in summary, we are always growing. We are always exploring and wanting to be, I guess, yearning to be a better version of ourselves. If we just instead focus on being present and noticing, observing what's coming up for us in that given moment. It may be like anger can show up. Okay, explore the anger, work with the anger, meet anger, feel anger. Feel it in a safe and responsible way, like not harming and outlashing at everyone around us. Really sit with that anger. Write, do like automatic writing. Notice the physical experience of anger. Be aware of the memories that come up when we feel that. What's activating that particular emotion? And also trusting that it's fleeting, that this too will shift. This will move through our body, it will dissipate, and a new sensation will come in. Always trusting and leaning in rather than pushing away, because we know the more we push away, the more we're holding that in our body. So if anger keeps showing up and we keep squashing it, or we keep trying to punish everyone around us because of something we're experiencing, we're not owning what's going on for us, or we're suppressing what's going on for us, and we're manifesting that as illness within ourselves, or we're pushing people away and disconnecting, which isn't healthy for us either. That goes into isolation. And solitude and isolation are two very different things. Solitude is that coming back to yourself and really embracing, surrendering into that particular experience, be it anger, be it joy. Like, why don't we spend so much time in joy? We're constantly striving for joy. And yet we get there, we don't celebrate, we don't lean in and just go, oh my God, I'm amazing. I've had this brilliant experience. I'm just going to really feel all of this and allow it to stay in my body and just really notice every sensation. No, we've been conditioned to just like, okay, well, that's ticked off, move along. That quick fix just isn't enough. So in the slowing down and the being present, we can really feel that full experience on every layer, intellectually, spiritually, physically, emotionally. Really embrace the whole sensation. That's creating new neural pathways. That's breaking old thought patterns and old programming that, that's freeing the parts of ourselves that believed something to be true that wasn't necessarily true, that over time we just keep gathering evidence to support that, but it wasn't necessarily true. It's also breaking ancestral lineage right through generations behind us. We know that when we end a cycle in a family lineage, breaking a cycle, it's known in addiction. When addiction stops in a generation, that heals the 7 generations before and the 7 generations ahead. So really be mindful of where you are right now and come back to gratitude, noticing where I am, the life I'm living, the magic I'm experiencing. What do I have to be grateful right now? And really show up for yourself in that. That's something I try to do every evening when I have my nighttime meditation ritual. I'm always identifying what I'm grateful for, because I'm there manifesting the life that I want, the life that I am living. I was just saying to a dear friend the other day, going, the situation you're in right now is the situation that you dreamed of a year ago. So lean in and really get up close and personal. That you've got your wish. Yes, it might be challenging in parts, but you've got your wish. That's what you wanted in your life, and it's coming into fruition. So celebrate where you are and observe. What do we have to be grateful for so that we can continue growing, continue being curious. So I hope that you receive this invitation to maybe taking yourself on a date. Maybe start with bubble bath or going for a walk or taking yourself out to see, listen to music, or go to a show or an art gallery or a nature walk. Find something. Just go for a swim in the ocean on your own. Find something that brings you joy, something that makes your heart sing, and invite yourself on a date. Go gently. Thank you for showing up for yourself by listening to Soul Therapy with Chelle. Feel welcome to subscribe to my podcast, share the pod with your friends, family, colleagues and neighbours, and please, if you are willing, I would absolutely love a 5-star review to give my little pod a boost in the algorithms. For further detail on how to work with me, please visit my website www.chellegriffin.com or find me on the socials. I hope you'll join me on my next episode. Till then, go gently and intentionally. With care, Chelle.